Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Marc Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Marc tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode number 88. Hope you're all having a great weekend so far on this first Tech It Out of the spring. On today's show, I'll talk about the new Apple AirPods, hit or miss, and a creepy story out of South Korea where hundreds of women were secretly filmed in hotels and bathrooms and live streamed over the internet. Yikes. IBM Research will drop by to talk food and tech. LG will chat with us about gaming monitors. We'll learn about a new Angry Birds game that uses augmented reality and a lot more on today's show. And speaking of augmented reality or AR, our first guest will join us now to talk about just that. So let's kick off the show. Technology is overhauling every industry, and home decor and design is no exception. A new app called Kavtek leverages augmented reality to unlock what's possible in your home. And all you need is your smartphone or tablet and the Kavtek app. Joining us on the line to chat is Senu Somawira. He's Kavtek's founder. Welcome to the show, Senu.
Thanks, Marc. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So why don't we dive right in? Before we talk about Kavtek and your new app, talk to us about augmented reality. What is AR exactly?
Sure. Augmented reality is when a user using a mobile device or a headset can place computer-generated images, let's say a chair or any other product in their real world. So when they look through their device, through their smartphone or their headset, they can see that image or digital product right in front of them, as if it appears right in front of them.
Mm-hmm. So it's like digital information superimposed on top of the real world around you. So it looks like there's something there with you that really isn't there.
You got it. Exactly.
I guess some of the biggest applications for AR has been gaming, like Pokemon Go, or other kinds of entertainment, like Snapchat filters, where it makes it look like your face is like a dog or something, right?
Yeah, you got it. So Pokemon Go actually was one of the first games that I was introduced to. I tried out. I was baffled. This is amazing that you could catch Pokemon using your mobile device and it's in front of you, right? And that, I think, to a lot of people was their first experience with augmented reality.
Right. So it looked like the Pokemon characters, these little cartoon creatures like Pikachu, the little yellow guy. It'll look like it's beside you in a park, for example, because you're holding your phone up and you're looking at the park through the lens of your smartphone's camera, and it will look like that Pikachu is on the park bench, even though it's not really there. It's been digitally superimposed, as I mentioned earlier. So that's AR, or augmented reality. But the applications for this technology obviously go above and beyond gaming. So talk to us about Kavtek, the new app.
Sure, and you're right? So Pokemon Go and gaming was the first, one of the world's first introduction to augmented reality. And then naturally, just with any technology coming out of gaming, there's a lot of real world applications. So when we first experienced Pokemon Go, we said, look, this technology is amazing. And I think there's an application for this in the home improvement space. And that's what Kavtek is. So Kavtek is a mobile application. You download it on Apple App Store or Google Play Store, and you can use the app to add products, change flooring, paint your walls, add landscaping. It's really cool. So not only can you add your favorite sofa, you could change your flooring to, let's say, from a carpet to a hardwood floor, and then you could change your wall color to match that floor that you just put down and kind of give you a real visual idea of what your space could look like.
And I don't think it stops there. So on one hand, you can, yes, as you mentioned, you can superimpose like a cool chair in your family room to see if it fits, or change the color of the carpet. But then you can also purchase the products right through the app, correct?
That's right. So the vision of Kavtek, and as a company, when we first started, it's only a year and a half old from idea stage, is to bring the most advanced technology in the hands of the consumer. Now, we do that by opening their world up to augmented reality. And then we quickly realized, look, we're bringing on all these big brands, right? So we work with brands and products such as Wayfair, Lowe's, Home Depot. And we realized the consumer wants to purchase these products, right? So they could see a product they like on Wayfair and a floor they see on Lowe's or Home Depot, and they want to bucket it all together and buy it. And that's the idea, is we're bringing that full circle home improvement experience into this mobile application. So not only can now you see the products that you want to buy, you can purchase it, you can also work with a professional together and help you decide what your home improvement phase is looking like and the next stages of it and things like that.
Cool, because I've seen these kinds of apps before. I've seen, IKEA's augmented reality app that lets you superimpose a table or chairs and rotate it and everything like that. And I've seen those painting apps where you hold it up in your, say, family room and you tap the wall, and then you can choose what color it would look like if you chose a different paint palette. But this seems to be a little bit more comprehensive, where you're working with several retailers with probably hundreds or even thousands of products. Is that right?
That's right. So we have thousands of products on our platform. And look, I think with starting Kavtek and where we're at today as a company, we realized that, the whole economy and the consumer expectations have changed, right? Now we're living in a generation, they want to push a button and they want to see magic happen. And that's, I think, within the home improvement space, that's Kavtek. Right, so users who are used to ordering food and getting delivery and transportation, they also want to now improve their space, be connected to all the big brands, visually see that product in their home and be able to buy it. And just like you said, we have thousands of products and we keep building and adding on more products every day.
We're chatting with Sanu Somawira. He is the founder of Kavtek. This is a new home improvement app on the market that lets you visualize what it would look like to have some new products in the home or some new decor decisions. So I understand this is for consumers, but as well as for businesses. Can you talk to us about the latter? What kind of professional would be able to leverage this kind of app?
Right. So we're opening the app up to any professional in the home improvement market, but our first essentially wave of professionals that we're targeting are real estate agents. We understand the market's changing. There's a lot, millennials represent the highest buying power, and millennial generations, they want instant gratification, right? So walking into a prospective home that they'd like to buy, they can use the application to change the space, change the floor if they don't like it, change the color of the wall, and really give them an idea of what this space could look like with them living in that space. And the way professionals would use it is professionals can download Kavtek, and then they can brand it. So they can upload their profile picture, their contact details, a summary of what they do, and then they can invite their clients. So each professional gets a unique share code that they can share on social media, or they can email it to all their clients. And their clients can then use that code, download the app, connect with that professional. So when their clients log in, it shows the professional's contact details and a summary of what they do. So that's interesting in the real estate space with lead generation. Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm a realtor and I'm looking to expand my clientele. I can share this code and I can have clients possibly looking for a home that does not have a realtor to connect with me through Kavtek.
I got it. I understand. Very cool. And as the homeowner, you can also use the home almost like digital staging, through the app.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So just to wrap up, the cost for Kavtek, I'm assuming it's free for consumers, but do you have to pay if you're using it professionally?
That's right. So Kavtek is free for anyone to download and use. The free version has ads from certain product partners. Consumers can upgrade if they'd like to a premium version, which is $7.99 a month. The free version lets you place all the products you want, and you have the full experience. Now, not only can you save, the cool thing about Kavtek is there's thousands of products, but you can also save products by room, right? So that's where the premium version comes in. There's a certain premium features that you'll have to pay for. It's $7.99 a month. However, a professional would pay $28.99 a month, and they can invite all their clients to use the premium version for free. And that's a huge added advantage to professionals.
Understood. And then just let's clarify what you need to get going. I guess most phones today or tablets are capable of some sort of AR or augmented reality. Is that right?
That's right. And it's interesting, Mark, because augmented reality to the masses in this mobile generation is fairly new. It was only introduced as ARKit back in October 2017 by Apple. So any iPhone, a 6S and up, can run our software platform. And with Google, any of the newer Google phones, I don't have a whole list of Android because there's a big product list for phones running Android. However, any phone in the past, I would say 2-3 years would be able to absolutely run the software.
Okay. And then finally, the best place to get going, obviously, you go to your app store and you type in Kavtek, which is Kavtek, or you go to the Google Play Store if you're on Android. But what's the website for those who want to learn maybe more about the company and your app?
Kavtek.com.
All right, Kavtek.com, Kavtek.com. Sanu Somawira, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with this app. It sounds great. I'm going to download it now.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me, and it's great to be here. Appreciate it.
Before we continue on with this show, Tech It Out is powered by ASUS. Thank you for your ongoing support. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. If you haven't noticed, computer gaming is red hot, in part due to breakthrough Battle Royale style multiplayer games like Fortnite and Apex Legends. And you don't just want a big and wide computer monitor for all your gaming needs, but also one that's fast. To talk with us about LG's line of Ultra Gear gaming monitors, we're joined by Eddie Camara. He is the National Sales Manager of IT Display at LG Electronics. Thanks for your time, Eddie.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having us.
Sure thing. So please talk to us about the LG Ultra Gear line of gaming monitors. What makes them special?
Sure. LG's Ultra Gear are a powerful line of gaming displays in which LG has integrated the highest performance and most sought-after features. These features help LG provide our customers with a total immersive gaming experience. By providing gamers with a brighter display that produces a wider color gamut, we are producing hyper-realistic images with true-to-life precision that transport the user right into the gameplay.
Are these monitors flat or are they curved? Or I think you offer both, right?
Yeah, we do offer both curved and flat gaming displays.
And what's the idea behind curved? Is it like some LG TVs that just are said to be more immersive, like it's slightly concave towards the viewer, just like a movie theater?
Yeah, that's correct. And from the distance that the user sits away from the display itself, the curved display provides a much more immersive experience than does a flat display.
Right. Cool. And it's good that you have a choice because some people even like to mount their monitors like they do their TVs. So it's up to you. I mentioned in my introduction, Eddie, that it's not just the size that matters, but also the speed. But before we get to speed, tell us how big some of these LG Ultra Gear monitors are. I remember back in the day, a 20-inch monitor was a big deal, and it had a bit of junk in the trunk. It was a CRT. And even when the first LCDs came out, they weren't huge. But really now you're able to bump up that size considerably.
Absolutely. So today we range from 24-inch all the way up to a 38-inch gaming display. So depending on your needs or a specific gameplay that you need, you can select from anywhere in there.
Wow, 38 inches. That's awesome. And these aren't just ideal for gaming, but also that's great for your 5 to 9 downtime, if you will. But for your 9 to 5 work life, these are, with a screen that big, we're talking about a lot of real estate in which to play with. So you can have multiple windows open. So it's perfect for multitasking.
That's correct. So for my own personal, I'm not a gamer myself, but for my own personal use, I use a 38-inch display and I have multiple screens open at any one time, making me just a little bit more productive, or at least that's what I like to tell myself.
Exactly, or that's what gamers are telling their parents who want them to buy them, a nice gaming monitor. All right, so it's called the LG Ultra Gear lineup. So what's new for 2019?
So at CES this year, or in 2019, we announced the 38-inch Nano IPS Ultra Gear gaming monitor. This display has an ultra-wide cinematic aspect ratio that also supports NVIDIA's G-Sync adaptive sync technology. And features 144 hertz refresh rate for a fast and fluid gaming experience without the image tearing that can be commonplace in some of the standard displays today.
Yeah.
This is especially noticeable in those fast action games.
Right. So this is what I was saying earlier, how it's not just the size that's important, but the speed of the monitor. So talk to us a bit about that again. So you're talking about a multiplayer game, perhaps. Every millisecond counts. So if the monitor can't keep up with what the graphics card is able to render, then there's a bit of a lag or latency. So it's a bit slower, and that could mean the difference between life and death in some of these multiplayer games.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Or you can experience some screen tearing or some image jutter, and these fast displays really eliminate those possibilities.
All right, so it's important to look for things like 144 hertz refresh rate, or that's the response time. You mentioned support for NVIDIA G-Sync technology. Is that only on the 38-inch version of the LG Ultra Gear gaming monitor, or across the board?
It depends on the model. So any of the models that have a G at the end tend to have the G-Sync technology incorporated into it. Any of the models with an F at the end have a FreeSync technology incorporated into them.
Okay, so G-Sync is with NVIDIA, a very popular graphic card maker, and then the FreeSync is with AMD, and they usually make CPUs as well, like computer chips as well. Got it.
Correct.
Okay, so we're talking LG Ultra Gear is the name of the brand, with the 38-inch version coming. For those who are keen on model numbers, it's technically the 38GL 950G, and that is coming at what point? Is it by summer, by fall, holidays?
So we're expecting the monitor to be available later this year. We don't yet have confirmation as to when exactly it will be available.
Okay. We're chatting with Eddie Camara, National Sales Manager of IT Display at LG Electronics. I'm assuming that you can connect multiple devices to these monitors. It's not just a PC or a Mac, but there's probably a few different inputs on the back, correct?
Absolutely. We have an HDMI input as well as a DisplayPort input on the back of the monitor. It also incorporates a USB 3.0 hub, so it'll allow you to plug in your USB keys into it as well. Okay,
so with USB, that means like you could have a movie on a thumb drive kind of thing, or is this to charge up your smartphone, or both?
It would be more to access the data that's on the drive itself.
Tell us about this sphere lighting on the back of the monitor. This is pretty cool, this colored ring.
Yeah, so the sphere lighting allows us to offer 6 different colors that emanate from the back of the monitor and provide an immersive ambiance for the gamer. In addition to that, it also helps to reduce eye strain.
Okay. And then finally, where can we learn more about the Ultra Gear? I know there's no pricing announced just yet, but is there a website where we can learn more about the monitors?
www.lg.com.
All right. Eddie Camara, National Sales Manager of IT Display at LG Electronics. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Mark. Thanks for the time.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out on the Radio America Network, which is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. Hang tight, more Tech It Out coming right up.
Want to follow Marc? Google him. Marc with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Marc Saltzman.
Welcome back to the program. Last week on this show, we chatted with IBM Research and its 5 and 5 predictions, all tied to food production, distribution, and consumption. And we're going to continue that thread now with IBM Research today, but this time with Robin Luigi. She's the research industry lead on consumer products, business solutions, and mathematical sciences for IBM Research, here to chat with us about its collaboration with McCormick & Company, tied to AI or artificial intelligence in flavor and food product development. How cool is that? The science behind the sandwich, if you will. Welcome to this show, Robin.
Hey, Marc. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Now, let's just start very high level. Tell us about this announced partnership, what it's all about.
Yeah, so IBM Research and McCormick have announced the great partnership that we're doing that's exploring how we can use AI to create better flavors and food products for them. Our team at IBM Research in particular is focused on computational creativity. Our interest is in exploring the questions of how computers can help people be more creative. And, we formed this great partnership with McCormick to help their product developers be more efficient and effective in creating new flavor and food products.
All right. So McCormick, of course, has food brands like Clubhouse and French's Mustard. My favorite, Frank's Red Hot. There's Stubbs Barbecue and many other brands under the McCormick umbrella. So how specifically will IBM use artificial intelligence to help create new taste profiles with McCormick?
Yeah, working with McCormick is such a gift because of their world-class expertise. You've mentioned some of their iconic products. They really had this vision of using AI not just for incremental change in their industry, but really to leapfrog. And really importantly for me as a mathematician was their wealth of data. McCormick has 40-plus years of proprietary sensory science and taste data, which includes decades of past product formulas and millions of data points that are related to consumer taste, preference, and palates. But the world of developing new flavor and product formulas really hasn't changed in decades. So when they have a product developer and they want to, put together a new spice mix or something you'll see on the shelf in your favorite grocery store, their product developers have to bring together a lot of knowledge about the flavors, the dishes, the raw materials, together with research to create these new formulas. So they're looking for ingredients and their proportions. And they have to consider thousands of potential raw ingredients when designing a new flavor experience. And they have to be knowledgeable about sensory science, consumer preferences, and flavor palettes. I mean, in my kitchen, I have one type of garlic. That's all I buy off the fresh produce. But product developers at McCormick, they have 50 different garlics that they have to choose from. It's a really challenging area. And very small changes in the ingredients can have a large impact in flavor. Let me give you an example. That Mexican dessert called flan? It's like a custard with a honey on top. Mm-hmm. If you just take a little bit of chopped yellow onions and sprinkle it on top, it'll really dramatically change how you experience the flavor of that flan. But that same chopped yellow onions, if you put them on a hamburger, you may not even notice them. So very small changes in ingredients can have a very large impact on flavor. And conversely, you can have very different seasoning blends that can be different in terms of the ingredients, but when you put them all together, have very similar taste. So this is a challenging domain for product developers, and it's very iterative. It involves lots of experimentation and refinements to get the best formulas. For example, if you have a skilled product developer, it could take them 50 iterations to come up with a commercializable final formula. And a less skilled product developer can take 100 to 150 iterations. We're talking months and months of works.
I understand how you can collect data from, say, surveys, like after, you've got testers who tried something and they give some feedback, or by sales data with one spice over another. But how exactly is artificial intelligence being employed here?
Yeah, great question. So our IBM Research AI for Product Composition System, it learns from hundreds of thousands of trial formulas that have been historic formulas that McCormick developers have used in the past, and thousands of raw material details and success indicators to find promising patterns for new developments. So, giving product developers access to this tool helps them uncover new ingredient combinations and ratios of these ingredients, which enhances their creativity. So, in addition to, helping them be more creative and create better tasting products and new flavor experience, another benefit of the AI is it helps accelerate the product development process and helping the products get to market more quickly. So, for example, with this AI system, the time it takes a product developer to create a new food product that's ready for commercialization is reduced by about 70%. And we do it by what's behind the AI system is really a series of five different models, AI models that I could tell you a little bit more about in detail if you like.
Well, in the interest of time, let's keep it a bit more high level, if that's okay, but I appreciate the offer. We're chatting with Robin Luigi, Research Industry Lead on Consumer Products, Business Solutions, and Mathematical Sciences for IBM Research. Let's just chat, though, a little bit about this AI product platform is called One, and I can understand how it could save McCormick, for example, some time and money and frustration in developing new tastes and iterating and testing it and deploying it. So for regular consumers like me, what would this mean? Like, I understand there's some new flavors, for example, that were in the press release by McCormick that were used with this kind of technology at their fingertips.
Right. So we're really excited about the one product coming out later this year in 2019. So, for example, hopefully you'll be able to go to your grocery shelves and try out our One sheet pan, like the New Orleans style sausage and vegetable, or the One skillet, Tuscan chicken and vegetable products. And this is a seasoning packet that coats both the vegetables and the protein, and you just put it all together in one pan, one skillet, or one sheet pan, pop it in the oven or cook it on the stovetop, and it's all done. So from a product developer's point of view, they had to figure out what were the right ingredients and proportions of ingredients to flavor both a protein and a vegetable, to not just be good, but have a great family favorite experience. You may know that the average product for a consumer product food company is only about 2 to 3, 4 years. And what McCormick and other companies really want to do is come up with that next classic, like your hot sauce that you love so much, that stays for generations. I think, that French's mustard has been around like 100 years. That's what we're really trying to help them make.
Very interesting stuff. So finally, what is the best website to learn more about IBM Research and your work with McCormick?
Oh, great idea. Why don't you Google my name, Robin Luigi? Okay,
Robin Luigi, Lougee. Thank you so much for your time, and congrats on this great partnership.
Thanks, Marc.
We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Marc Saltzman.
Hey, welcome back to Tech It Out. It's been one of, if not the most successful video game franchises over the past decade, Angry Birds. Of course, it started with a 2D slingshot game from a Finnish company called Rovio Entertainment. Took advantage of the iPhone's touchscreen, but has evolved into a feature film, plush toys, cartoons, and 19 different games in total. Well, at a recent event in New York, I had the pleasure of seeing their most innovative Angry Birds game to date, called Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs. AR, of course, standing for Augmented Reality. To explain what that is and how to play the game, I caught up with Sami Ronkainen. He is the creative director at Rovio. Thank you for your time, Sami.
Thank you.
So that was a really fun demo. So Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs. Tell us about it.
So Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs is our first mobile AR game coming out later this spring, and it's going to be exclusive for the iOS only, where we explore the spatial gaming aspect. So we utilize the physical space where the player is in, and we create the game so that it feels as immersive as possible and as realistic as possible. So we're bringing Angry Birds into your world with you, and you'll be able to play by walking around the levels, taking a look at the levels from different angles, trying to figure out what would be the best angle to take your shots, and just to make the as much destruction as you can.
All right, so just to bring everybody up to speed, AR, of course, is short for augmented reality. This is when, through the iPhone lens, you can superimpose, you can see digital information superimposed on the real world around you. So with Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs, you see a 3D level. It looks like, because this is radio, let's explain that it's sort of like a fort, if you will, where the pigs are, and you have to sling a bird to destroy the levels. But it looks like it's right there, perhaps on your kitchen table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you can basically place the game anywhere where there's enough flat surface in your home. So it could be your tabletop, it could be like on your bed, or it could be also on your floor. But it works best maybe when it's on a tabletop, so it's a bit higher up.
And so it's very magical, because to the player, whether they be young or young at heart, it looks as if those birds are really in the room with you. So it really creates this really fun, immersive effect, visual effect. But it's also touch related. Maybe you can talk to us about the haptic feedback, what that means.
Sure. So how you shoot the bird is that the bird jumps to your slingshot, which is displayed on the touchscreen, and then you stretch back to take the shot. And then we are using the Kavtek engine on the iPhone to create the haptic effect, so you can also feel the slingshot stretching and releasing.
Mm-hmm. So you can hear sort of like the rubber band, but you can feel that tension, if you will, under your thumb. So it really feels like you're slinging something in real life. And of course, you want to choose the right bird, and they each have different effects, and you want to be able to take down the pigs in as few moves as possible. That's sort of the premise. That hasn't changed, that part, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we deliberately wanted to take the traditional Angry Birds mechanic of the slingshot games, so it would be as easy to pick up as possible and as easy to understand what the game is about. But it still has the old magic. You still get the feeling of that I want to have one more go if you didn't pass the level or if you didn't get the 3 stars.
And again, let's just reinforce the fact that this is not a 2D game. You actually have to walk around. In this case, we're here in New York at a demo. We walked around the table that you placed the virtual birds on, or pigs rather, and that you have to physically walk around from a 360-degree perspective to find the best angle, because this is a 3D model, and you might find a little secret hidden there inside of that little fort that the pigs are stacked up in, right?
Yeah, that's what we wanted to start exploring, that when the game becomes a part of your world, it comes to your world, then how does it feel to play, and what kind of things you need to take in account when you are designing the levels. So what we wanted to do is to design a game where there are puzzles that will only be possible to solve by looking at the levels from different angles and really making use of the physical space around the levels.
All right, Sammy, as we wrap up, it's an iOS exclusive. It's available for iPhone as well as iPad?
Yes, so all the ARKit compatible devices.
All right, so it's available now for pre-order, which it is a freemium game, so it'll be free to download and play some, but you'll have the option with in-app purchases to buy some extra content, no doubt, right?
No, we haven't actually locked down the business model completely yet, but it will be free to play.
So you just have to go to the App Store and type in Isle of Pigs, and you'll be able to register for it, or is there a website you would recommend instead to start?
I think it works best through the App Store.
Okay, so again, it's called Angry Birds AR, Isle of Pigs, or just type Isle of Pigs. No doubt you'll find it, and then you can sign up, and then you'll be notified when it is available live on the App Store this spring, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, Sammy, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Actually, it was confirmed after this interview that if you pre-order Angry Birds AR Isle of Pigs, it'll actually just show up on your device the day it comes out this spring, which is pretty cool stuff. So that's all you have to do is to pre-order, as it's called. But even though it is a free game, that just means it will show up on your device on the day it's officially available. And personally, I can't wait to play it in my own home. I love this demo at this preview event in New York City where I got a chance to play the game. But wow, it's so cool. This combination of a familiar physics-based arcade game, that slingshot action with the birds going after the pig's fortress, but leveraging augmented reality. So be sure to register for that game so it'll show up on your phone or tablet when it's ready. Again, that's Angry Birds AR, Isle of Pigs. All right, when we return on Tech It Out in a couple of moments from now, we're going to talk about the new AirPods. I'm not going to have a guest on. This is there's no more interviews for the rest of the program, but I'm going to grab a couple of headlines from last week and chat about them. One is the new AirPods unveiled by Apple earlier in the week. Yay or nay? I'll give you my take when we return, as well as a very disturbing story out of South Korea tied to snooping, tied to using technology in a not so great way. It's a pretty disgusting story, so brace for it when we return. How many hundreds of women have been spied upon undressing, showering, going to the bathroom, and live streamed on the internet unbeknownst to them. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Marc Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
All right, so it was a pretty cool week for tech stories, a lot of positive things. That new gaming platform from Google that leverages the cloud. So on devices like, a Chrome browser or a Chromecast or a Pixel-based smartphone, you can play games that as if they were stored locally on your device, but they're actually streaming in real time over the internet. Love it. So it's kind of like the Netflix of gaming. So Google had a big splash there. And then 2 days later, Apple unveiled their new Apple AirPods and other products. The AirPods, of course, are their very trendy Bluetooth earbuds that wirelessly connect with your iPhone or other device, but they're really designed for iPhone. So yes, there was a lot of buzz leading up to it, a lot of speculation. Are they going to be different colors, a different design? Because it's all about the status symbol, right? Apple, let's face it, it is a status symbol. My kids say the same thing in their high school, that it is something that people like to show off. But it's unfortunate that the new AirPods 2, or whatever they're going to be called officially, that were unveiled this week, do look the exact same as AirPods 1. Now, cosmetically, that's the case, but under the hood, there are a few new differences. The most important being the new H1 chip, the processor driving all of that performance. So now 3 hours instead of 2, but still 5 hours for music. They've added Hey Siri. So instead of double tapping the AirPod to activate your favorite personal assistant who can never understand you, you can now just say, Hey Siri. So that's not the best feature, because how lazy can you get that you can't tap your ear? And then third, they've added wireless charging. So the case that you put the AirPods into now can be used with all those wireless chargers out there. Many people have them in their car, or they've got, something on their desk at home or at the office where you just place it down on that little puck and it starts charging up. But yeah, kind of like a little underwhelming, if you will. But so yeah, that's the deal with the new AirPods 2.0, which is really like AirPods 1.5. All right, so while there were some positive stories this week, there was also some creepy ones. This story is very disturbing. About 1,600 hotel guests in 10 different South Korean cities were victims of, let's call it, illicit spy cameras. So this is a big problem in the country, but what they found was that in 42 different hotel rooms, buried inside of a hairdryer holder or a TV box or a wall socket was a tiny camera that wasn't just recording you to be consumed later, but it was actually recording women and live streaming them over the internet to those who paid for it. It was about the equivalent of $10 a month, where you can access these live streams in 42 hotel rooms, and then as much as $45 a month for premium features like the ability to rewind and watch video footage all over again and some other bells and whistles. Needless to say, this is very disturbing, but a sting did lead to a number of arrests with these the folks responsible for this illicit spy cams. And this is not just a South Korean problem. Yeah, that they seem to be the worst. Get this, in the last 5.5 years, there have been more than 30,000 cases of illicit recordings in South Korea, according to the New York Times. But this has surfaced in the States as well. There have been hotel chains, and I've commented on this on TV stations like CNN, where they have found hidden cameras. But this is the first time that we've actually heard of live streaming unbeknownst to the hotel guests. Very upsetting stuff. And if you think about it, cameras are getting so small now that you really can't find them. I mean, you really have to know what you're looking for. I mean, even with your smartphone, it's a tiny little pinhole lens in some cases, and you're certainly not, so like my wife said to me, for example, Kelly's like, what do you do? Like, how do you prevent this? Do you have to literally spend an hour walking around your hotel room? You're not going to find a tiny little dot in a ceiling fan, or, you know what I mean? So it is those things where we really don't have an answer unless there's some electronics, and they do exist for those uber paranoid that can detect a recording device. You walk around like a wand and it will tell you if there's something suspicious. Most people aren't going to go that far. But yeah, they're so small that you can't find them. You can't see them to the naked eye unless you go super up close. And then they often make it so that hole where the camera lens would be, it would naturally be there anyways. Like it might be right beside a light that's the same size. So you wouldn't even think twice looking at it. Creepy stuff. That reminds me of people who have taken their laptops in to be serviced, and somebody, takes a liking to, let's say, the woman who brought it in, and they secretly install remote viewing software that lets somebody hack into the webcam to let them watch the person. hear about those stories. You got to have good antivirus, folks. Good antivirus. It'll protect you from all that stuff. Hey, thank you for listening to Tech It Out this week. This show is brought to you by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. If you want to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, let me know what you'd like to hear going forward on Tech It Out. I look forward to talking to you next weekend. All the best, everyone. Ciao for now.